Hello, Davie.
All right, Peter.
How you doing? You alright?
No,
Good.
I'm no happy.
Oh, what's wrong with you?
Well, I should have a hangover because it should have been the British Championships yesterday, and obviously no piping, no nothing. So I'm a bit disappointed. But see, Livy.
Is that a hangover because you'd won, or a hangover because you had lost?
Does it matter?
Could be worse. Could be worse. You could be that poor guy that was representing the UK at the Eurovision Song Contest last night.
You know that's bad, don't you? That's always bad. No, there's Dick Allen.
He wasn't feeling very sure for himself. The poor guy didn't look just no.
No, that was.
It
was from everyone.
I panicked a wee bit there at the beginning because I couldn't hear our bonny tune that you composed at the beginning there and called after my wife, Karen Wood of Midyell.
Yep. And where are you tonight, Peter?
And do you know something? I'm in Midyell, where Karen was brought up. And the internet signal's going up and down a bit. And there she is, look, she's ran in the background and then ran away. Karen usually drives backstage, folks, but unfortunately the internet ain't handling it, but it's handling me and Davie, but it won't handle it when we put two devices on.
So she's getting a night off.
Never mind. She's getting a wee night off, so Davie's going to drive as well. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful to see so many people joining us tonight. That is fantastic. That really helps this show. I'm sure we're going to have an absolutely wonderful night, even though Davie hasn't got a hangover. We've got Dolly and Mike O'Rourke on in the first half, and we've got Ian McPhail. Wee Ian McPhail, we used to call him. There's a big Ian McPhail and a wee Ian, but he's not really wee. But so we've got Ian McPhail for Whiskey Kiss in the second half of the show, so I'm really looking forward to tonight. We're going to have a real mixture of stuff. And we've had a bonny day here today in Yell. We've been out looking for otters and things like that. And we didn't find any otters today. No. We saw lots of nice scenery, and we went to the swimming pool. Would you believe that? We're not a swimming pool on an island in Shetland. You would think, why? It's just surrounded by water. You know?
If that's not a waste of a state, I don't know.
But there we go. That's how it goes. Anyway, folks, please share the show about. Remember, we're live on 3 Facebook channels. We're on Tartan Tunes. We're on Tunes in the House. Tunes in the House as well. And we're also on my Peter Wood Music one. And then we're on YouTube, Tartan Tunes, and YouTube, Twitter.
No. Twitter, Tartan Tunes.
Aye. No. Tartan Tunes. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we've ditched Twitch. Twitch, just, I don't know what's happening with that. Hello, Joyce, how are you? There we go. Very good. Right, so we're going to have a few tunes tonight. Right, listen, we're going to start with my tune tonight, I think.
Yes, I really want to see this.
Titch Freer sent me this. I used to play with Titch Freer and Andy Ramage and Davie Vernon about 33 years ago. And we called ourselves Scotia's Hardy Sons. And we shot this wee promo video, right? And it was state of the art at the time, boy. This was state of the art. This was, I mean, it was real wind up rubber bands and everything that we made this with.
Was that like VHS?
It would have been likely, yeah. And we shot it in the Minto Hotel in Edinburgh. I remember that. We got a line of the Minto Hotel. And shot this wee tune, and we've done about 5 tracks. So this is a wee set of reels that Davie starts off with a tune, and I didn't ken what's going to happen with the. I'm playing the pipes in this one, not the accordion, and I'm a bit younger looking than I am now. So it starts off with Reconciliation, and we'll see what happens after that. I haven't seen it for a while either.
It's actually quite interesting to watch because it's amazing how the fashions change as well.
There we go. Pipes instead of the accordion for a wee change, eh? Aye, that's a wee while ago.
Dark
That's when bagpipes
change.
and in B flat, and that was normal. It was quite flat sound, but normal. So there we go. Ah, there's Sylvie. Hi Sylvie. I was put one of Sylvie's tunes up on Facebook today. Sylvie Marfan out in Spain. So lovely folks, remember, message us in, let us know where you are. We love to see where our audience is watching from. So that last three tunes was Dancing the Baby, Rocking the Baby, Dancing the Baby, Dancing the Baby,
Rocking the Baby,
can't mind.
Rocking.
Dancing the Baby, Pumpkin's Fancy by Terry Tilley, and The Easy Club Reel by Jim Sutherland. Three tunes at the end there. So it was great fun playing in that band, and I've got about 5 or 6 tracks with songs and tunes and things, so we'll air some of them over the next wee while.
Looking forward to seeing it.
So, all good fun. All good fun. Now, what are we having for yourself tonight? We're having one of your tunes tonight. There's lots of people on. Yeah, keep sharing, folks. This is a great audience. This is brilliant.
We have a recording of one of my own tunes. If I get
Magic.
We have 2 seconds. We have.
Is this Miss Emily we're getting?
It is. Yeah, this is the tune I wrote for my niece.
Fantastic.
Who is also to be our flower girl in 40 odd days. Don't know how many days is it? I've lost count now.
40 odd days and counting.
Yeah.
You better not lose count if you want to be happy.
I know. But yeah, c'est la vie.
You better turn up.
I've not got a choice. So the tune's Miss Emily, and it is accompanied by a guy who plays in the Fisherman's Session with us, with me and Dolly and Mike and Adam Sampson. So he's playing all the instruments in the backing for this.
Right.
He's rather good.
Magic.
Here we go.
Let's have a listen. This does sound lovely. It's lovely. bonny melody.
Thank
And
you,
a
thank you,
lovely
thank you.
accompaniment as well.
Really
Very
good.
nice accompaniment. Nice piano playing. Yeah, really good.
Aye. That was.
I noticed, there was a couple of comments in it.
Sorry,
Somebody was asking you where that was. Where was the sea?
that's Dunnottar Castle. Well, it's the,
Alright,
it's the
okay.
bay beside Dunnottar Castle near Stonehaven.
The only
a busy night,
thing that was missing was me having a wee swim. Annoying
the-
I'm
annoying
right
the
into this
dolphins.
going in the sea now, swimming. It's great, even with Shetland. Yeah, it's brilliant. And then I noticed somebody else asked, was that Davie Vernon in the accordion in my video? Yeah, it was a young Davie Vernon as well.
I think it was Joe that said
Very,
that,
very
yeah.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
typical. You're getting hundreds of comments coming in the very night. Can I get connected? That's just like the thing.
I know, it's just typical, just my luck.
Brilliant to see all these folk. There's folk from Canada, America, everywhere watching already. Spain, there we go. People, there's even somebody from Dundee.
I know, there's two of us.
there's somebody from Mid-Yell, which is where I am tonight. I noticed that. Right.
Just go wave to them.
I could just open the window and give them a shout. Can't be that far. Anyway, listen, we've got some great guests tonight. I'm really looking forward to this. And this first two guests you know very well.
They do,
So
yes.
I'm going to let you introduce them in your time-honoured fashion.
Ta-da! No, I'm kidding. We have a couple of friends of mine from the session on a Thursday night in Broughty Ferry. We have Dolly and Michael Rourke, who I just happened a few weeks ago. I bumped into and I was on my daily exercise over in Wormit. So they literally live across the bridge from me, and they probably spend more time in Dundee than I do. And here they come. Hello.
Hello, you guys.
How are you doing?
Hi. Hi.
Oh, magic. I can hear he's absolutely perfect now. That seagull must have got off the line or whatever was happening up here. There was something going on. An otter chewing through the internet cable or something.
We moved up the stairs. Because a wee thing said you have to move near your router. So our router's up the stairs. So I think it's working better because it's beside the router. So.
That'll be it.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I hope you're both well, and it's a pleasure to have you on. I've not actually met you in person, but Davie has, but I've seen all the videos that we're going to be playing tonight and that. And there's some lovely stuff, and I think audience out there are going to love the material that you're playing. Now, you're not short of material, you guys, are you? Because
No.
in the first lockdown, second lockdown, right through, I thought I'd done not bad here. I'd done 250 days, but you've squashed me completely. How many did you manage to do? You done.
Well, we did a full year. We did 365, and then we started sort of as lockdown is. We said, right, we'll just do 2 a week. So we're kind of down to 2 songs at the weekend. So we're up to 385 now. But there's one guy in Nova Scotia who's at song something like 450. He's still been doing 1 a day. But the difference is he only does country. We do everything.
We do
Absolutely.
Everything.
Yeah, and his version of Wee Willie Winkie going through the Toon Country version wasn't very good anyway. I heard it. That's what happens when you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. You get a Wee Willie Winkie and things. Sad it is.
I reckon we've still got
An incredible achievement, folks. Incredible achievement. It's a lot of words, though. It's a lot of words, and it's a great achievement. Getting through that much, and I'm sure you found like myself that there's so many people appreciated it right through that time. It gave them something to look forward to every day, and
well, it's been lovely.
It's just great.
Absolutely lovely. Really. We've made lots of friends, and people from all over the world have tuned in, which is great for us because we are not professional musicians. We're just Joe amateur people, but we love music. We love singing. And we love arguing about chords and things like that and words.
Yeah. Well, it's absolutely fantastic to have you on. I think we'll have a wee song because we've got 2 or 3 songs coming for you guys tonight.
We do.
Because we had you gave us 365 and we had to narrow it down. So we've narrowed it down to about 4. Actually, you should have been in the Eurovision Song Contest last night for Scotland. You guys could have been representing Scotland. I bet you'd have got more points. That'd have been the thing
that
to
would
do.
be hard.
Yeah.
We've not got the costumes.
No, we've not got out.
Hey, that can be arranged. Just ask Jerry for his tutu. Yeah, so
Mike,
we're going to
we'll get you sparkle somewhere.
We're going to hear a song called Hasta Luego, Dolly.
Right, okay.
Oh, see, that's
okay.
even Eurovision. Hasta Luego. That's got a kind of Eurovision title to it.
Yes.
Tell us a wee bit about that song.
That song is it's a guy called Frank Ray who hails from Hamilton. He's a Hamilton Accies supporter. Frank plays in a wee band through the West, but him and his gang come up to Oaken Tayport. So that's the Tayport Festival, which hasn't happened for 2 years now. It's a great wee festival. It's over 3 days, and a lot of people come to it. And I heard Frank singing this song, and I just totally fell in love with it. Mike, you can tell me a bit about what the song's about, because he knows this.
It's just about a guy going off to fight for the International Brigade in Spain and saying cheerio to his wee brother, and he doesn't come back.
Yeah.
So dead cheery.
It's a wee happy song, not.
Yeah,
We love the dream.
Scottish folk songs tend to do that, don't they? They're just packed with laughs. But actually, when you say he was a Hamilton Accies fan, I've got an uncle that's a Hamilton Accies fan, and I thought he was the only one. So there is actually more than one of them out there. So that's quite good to know as well. That's quite good. So. But there we go. Anyway, let's take this song. Are you ready, David? You roll.
I'm ready. Yep.
Who'd have did me go to the football that day? The league it was just about one anyway. He said there was something that he had to do, and he spoke about folk they called fascists. Said you're old enough now, Tom, to get there on your own. Sure that you can the right bus to get on. I wasn't to tell him my boy was gone. He said he was heading for Paris. He said give me a hug and give me a smile. Ask the man and he'll lift you over the turnstile and wave your red banner and hear the crowds roar, and always remember it's football, no war. At the end of the road we bumped into some mates. What quizzed him about the International Brigade? They said he was daft. He said he couldn't wait to march into Spain with his brothers. And rapped out them all, to him it was clear, if we don't fight them there, then we will fight them here. And he said that there was nothing to fear as long as we are still together. He said, give me a hug and give me a smile. Ask the man and he'll lift you over the turnstile and wave your red banner and hear the crowds roar. And always remember it's football, no war. New life's no like football, where the sides are square, where if in the middle, to make sure it's there. Sometimes the others took more than their share, and me for one would nae know them. So he slipped me a tanner I've still never spent. Said hostile we go, whatever that meant. And he smiled and he kissed me, and he turned and went. And that was the last time I saw him. He said, give me a hug and give me a smile. Ask the man and he'll lift you o'er the turnstile and wave your red banner and hear the crowds roar. And always remember it's football, no war. He said, give me a hug and give me a smile. Ask the man and he lifted me o'er the turnstile, and I waved my red banner, and I heard the crowds roar. And I've always remembered it's football, no war. What does your t-shirt say, Mike?
Boom.
Boom. Okay, that's significant.
Oh, love it. I love it.
Now, two things I have to tell you about this. As well as the songs, Mike's a legendary collection of t-shirts, okay? So everybody was looking to see what was on his t-shirt. Plus the fact, my hair and that, you know how nobody could go to hairdressers? Well, I cut my own, and I left big bald bits at the back, and Mike said, I'll have to shave it off. So he shaved mine.
I thought it was a punk face.
Being a gentleman, I wasn't going to mention that, Dolly. Anyway, but it was unique, very, very unique. I'm sure it was, Sinead O'Connor would have been proud.
Well, it took ages to grow in. I thought it was growing in about 3 weeks. It was about 6 months before it grew in. And then my daughter put me onto these hair mascaras. So every time I went on to sing a song, I've had different stripes on my head. So that was lovely.
I done some last year. I was doing a bit of fundraising for NHS Shetland last year, and somebody said would I dye my hair pink, they would give me their money. So I did that for a laugh as well, and then it was all going swimmingly well until Karen said, we said, right, let's get this out, and it was the remover stuff. She put it in, and there was this smelly rotten eggs that it followed me for about a month after it. Every time it got wet, I smelled, it was awful. It was just terrible. But never mind. But tell me, you guys. One of the things you pointed out to begin with, and you said you're part-time musicians. You just enjoy playing the music. You hadn't done it for a living. I'm not going to say you weren't professional, because you are professional. You're more professional than some people that call themselves professional. Yes, you are. You are. You very much are. And there's people out there that would like to call themselves professional that shouldn't bother. But it's really, really nice and really nicely done. So tell us a wee bit. There's a lot of people putting in, I've been listening to these guys and we don't know that much about you as people. What did you do? What did you do as a profession and things then? Were you?
Well,
No, I was a senior social worker in criminal justice for 40 years. So I'm from Dundee originally. So.
I was a primary teacher, Peter. I started off teaching in Figgy Park in Paisley, from Jerry Rafferty country, and then I moved up to Dundee.
Wow.
I met Mike at college. Actually, we met at a grants rally. I came to college in Dundee, teaching college, but we moved back to Paisley because there was no jobs, but there was a job in Figgy Park. So I started primary teaching and worked my way up, and eventually was a head teacher in Antrim Road. So that's what we were. And no, seriously, we don't sing. We sing at pub, things like that. Pub sessions,
that's
family
amazing.
weddings.
Yeah. Fantastic as well, because you don't hear that many people moving back to Paisley either, do you? Sometimes That's quite an achievement, that. That's anyway, no, I'm just joking. Sorry, all you Paisley people. I was only having a fun. Right. But
Dolly had said about Jerry Rafferty, but when I worked in Paisley, I worked in the same area, and the senior social worker there at the time was Jerry's brother, Joe. So, and you knew Jerry through Joe.
Yeah.
There we go.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of talent coming out of Paisley, actually.
Well, we've been up in Fife for 40 odd years now, Peter. We moved back up.
Okay.
We were only in Paisley. Well, I'm from through there, but came to college in Dundee.
Yeah.
So I've been here a lot longer than I ever was in Paisley. I still love it back there and back the West Coast and things. But no, we've been up in Dundee for 40 years.
So when you were at college and that, then were you involved with the folk music and that as well?
Yes, we used to
start there. Yeah.
We had the Dundee College of Education had a good folk club with people like the McCalmans and Rab Noakes. And then there was a New Dines at the university. We saw people like John Martin and Harris Teeth and Michael Mara, people like that. So yeah, there was quite a good wee folk scene in those days. And then recently the folk scene up here is the session scene up here pre-COVID. Honestly, you could go to a session just every night of the week. It was really going strong with and varied sessions. There was trad sessions, there was all-comer sessions. So, and that's the kind of thing we really miss. And that's why Mike wanted to start this. When the sessions all stopped, Mike said, "Come on, we'll just put up a song a day, for a laugh." So 385 songs later, we were still going.
I'm sure Mike says something along the lines of, I think we should do one song a day. This won't last that long.
No, we didn't think it would last that long. Kept going.
I don't think anybody did think we were going to be carrying on that long. But thank goodness for the internet and things. We've been able to do a lot. We've been able to keep stuff going. And did you even miss Davie with his bagpipes at the sessions?
Oh, we missed Davie. We did miss Davie.
That's no bad. Listen, another song. What will we have this time?
We're going to hear, the next one is from the Bubble Band.
Oh yeah, I'll tell.
Tell us the story.
Right. My son and daughter, well, my son lives in Glasgow, works for the BBC, but then he had to get out the house he was in, and it was at the time of lockdown where the BBC people couldn't go into the office. He works for the education, he goes into schools and things, so he couldn't go into schools. He said, "Mum, can I come up and stay with you guys?" Now, he hasn't been staying here for about 20 odd years, so we had to move everything out of his old bedroom, and he's staying here. So he was in our bubble, and my daughter, Brenna, she's a wee bit younger. She is actually the musician in the family. She's the one that can read music and did grade 8 piano, and she can play everything and knows what she's talking about. None of us read music or have a clue. So anyway, we called ourselves the Bubble Band, and we did quite a few together. But this one is the first one we did together. I think it was it for my 65th birthday? I think it was song 160, which coincided with my 65th birthday. So and we did a bit of everything. We do Scottish, but this is an American one from Steve Earle's son, who sadly passed away. So this is called Harlem River with 4-part harmony, and me and the uke.
Fantastic.
We do love a harmony.
Fantastic.
Here we go. Harlem River. Here we go.
Please. Okay. Right. But I'm going uptown to the Harlem River to drown. Dirty water's gonna cover me over. I'm not gonna make a sound. I'm on the road, mama. I gotta go there while I still can. Trouble days are behind me now. I know they're gonna let me in. When you see me walking up the FDR, just a singing and a clapping my to drown. Dirty water's gonna cover me over. I'm not gonna make a sound. Yay!
Well, your house must have been great in the lockdown. Must have been magic. Brilliant. A constant party.
Singing in harmony and stuff like that. Yeah, another thing I forgot to mention was part of our challenge was to use all the instruments, because he's got God knows how many guitars, and I've got my ukulele and my wee whistle and all these different instruments, and he even played his dulcimer for one of the songs, and I get my auto harp out, so it was really hard to try and choose the songs, because I think the ones we've chosen have only got guitars and ukes and maybe mandola. Mike's got a mandola and a mandolin. Yeah. Good fun with the bubble band. Yeah, really liked it. Love singing in harmony.
I was going to ask you, I heard Davie saying about your Facebook page and that, you don't mind if folk are directed towards your Facebook page, do you?
Not at all. No, that's absolutely fine. We've got lots of people from all over, really. We've got folk in Nova Scotia and Canada and America and Australia. The Philippines even, we've got people, Germany, and New Zealand.
Yeah.
We've got lots of things there. Yeah. It kind of went a bit mad. I always sing with... When you go. Well,
I always get really excited. I get really excited when I see a comment coming from somewhere like somebody in Thailand or Hawaii or something, and I always think, I hope they're an agent and they're wanting to move me to take me there. But it's not happened that much yet. But never mind.
I'm always frightened that somebody's a child support agency.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But it's nice how things take off, because I sang, there's a crowd from the Fish session, my girl pals, Barbara, who was on 2 weeks ago, and Aileen Carr, who's a Scottish folk singer, and Leslie. We were in Barbara's house one afternoon just singing and having coffee. We were just drinking, we were having cake. We weren't drinking. And we were just singing a few songs. And Tom happened to video us singing The Woman Who Done See, one of Sheena Wellington's songs. Well, the damn thing went absolutely viral. It went to something like, the last I looked, it was 95,000 views. And we would all get really excited.
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh my God. So that was a real highlight for us, getting that. Yeah.
And people, and the numbers on that are still growing, that song, because I hadn't seen that, and Davie sent me it to watch the other night, so they're going to keep getting bigger and bigger all the time. It's amazing. It's amazing how these things happen.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I think the biggest number of views we had was, funnily enough, it was, we did The Road and the Miles to Dundee, our version, and it got 4,500. So I think that was our highest number of views. The Bubble Band Christmas one got about 3,500. We did, we all get dressed up in kind of Spanish gear and sunshades and sang. What was it called again? What was the Christmas one called again? Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad.
It's a bit early for that.
Do you know? Do you know one of my highest ones for playing stuff was, I'd put all this, go and work out all this serious nice stuff and all that, and it would do fine, but one of my highest, in fact the highest, was the day I went outside and I played. I called my things Tunes for the House as well. That's how the site kind of started, and I went outside, so I had tunes just outside the house one day, and I went out and I played to the sheep. I played to the sheep in the park, and the sheep came down the park next to me and listened for a wee while, and then they all bogged off in the middle of my set of tunes. And that was the biggest view I got. I got about 20,000 or something like that. That's just typical, isn't it? Nothing to do with me, it was the sheep. So are you looking forward to getting back to, you'll be looking forward to getting back to a session sometime?
Oh, definitely. I mean, the sessions that we go to, I mean, the Fish, when it's good, is just brilliant. Davie will testify to that. It's the crowd that go, and then you never know who's going to turn up at the Fish. Sometimes you get people who are kind of like holiday makers, and they'll suddenly come out and sing something brilliant, and you go, wow, where did that come from, Yeah, same with other sessions we go to. It's all very mixed, and you never know. And it's just nice when somebody starts and other folk join in gradually, and then you end up with these big chorus harmonies, and it's really special. Yeah, it's lovely.
We
really,
got that
really
one night up in the lounge in Shetland we were playing, and this fella walked in with this tiny little case. I'd never seen such a wee, and we were all like, "What's he going to bring out that case?" You know, and then he opened it, and it was the tiniest wee trumpet I've ever seen in my life. This wee tiny trumpet, and the guy started playing, and he was amazing. He was absolutely phenomenal. It just shows you it's not all about size, you know.
Yeah,
That wee trumpet did it, you know. So
and it's just, it's
good.
when you get youngsters coming up. You know, the youngsters coming up are amazing. You know, you think, what age are they? And they're just coming out with all these tunes and songs, and it's great to see the youngsters coming up. Because when I was a primary teacher at Primary Head at Antrim Road in Dundee, we had this Scots Focus every January, and we taught the kids all the old Scots songs, all the old Scots poems, and we had a wee concert at the end, and it was great, and the kids loved it. Really, really love it. And I was at the pub, you know, the Fort Davie and the Broughty Ferry. I was there for my lunch just last week, and this lassie came over and she went, "Mrs. O'Rourke." And I went, She said, "It's Rosie, one of my pupils." And she said, "I just got into the London School of Theatre and Music." And she was one of my wee star pupils at my Scottish Focus. And I thought, that's lovely.
Brilliant. Absolutely.
And you're sitting there going, "How much do I owe you?"
There's a comment coming up here, Dolly, for somebody saying that that was their absolute favourite one of the songs there, and they actually sat and wrote out the words so as they could sing along.
Oh.
So there you go.
Yeah, I recognise.
There you go. So maybe we should have the you could have the Bubble Band Volume 1 book coming out.
Oh, I can't think how many we did. We did the kind of significant ones like song 200, 160, 200, and the last one we even did the Sloop John B by the Beach Boys. That was a big hit. Everybody loved that.
Brilliant version. It was a brilliant version.
What song have we got?
What song, Davey's next?
We have your mashup of when the bloody war is over and hanging in the old barbed wire.
All right, that was for Remembrance Sunday. We're trying to be topical as well, so yeah, okay.
So
very poignant song. This. Listen to this. Very, very nice.
Yeah, it's really good. Here we go.
When this bloody war is over, no more soldiering for me. When I get my civic clothes on, oh, how happy I will be. No more church parades on Sundays, no more putting in for leave. I will kiss the sergeant major, how I'll miss him, how I'll grieve. Kitchener told us when we listed of the medals we could win, but the glories are all in the guardroom, and the medals made of tin. No more sitting in the trenches, no more dodging shells or fire. We will tell the sergeant major we're tired of all this bloody mire. If you want to find the general, I know where he is. I know where he is. I know where he is. If you want to find the general, I know where he is. He's pinning another medal on his chest. I saw him, pinning another medal on his chest. I saw him, pinning another medal on his chest. If you want to find the sergeant, I know where he is. I know where he is. I know where he is. If you want to find the sergeant, I know where he is. He's drinking all the company's rum. I saw him, drinking all the company's rum. I saw him, drinking all the company's rum. If you want to find the private, I know where he is. I know where he is. I know where he is. If you want to find the private, I know where he is. He's hanging on that old barbed wire. I saw him, hanging on that old barbed wire. I saw him hanging on that old barbed wire. No more church parades on Sunday. No more begging for a pass. I will tell the sergeant major to stuff that pass right up his arse.
Ah, well done. We round the applause.
I'd just like to point out that we're not, we don't have to deal with Ofcom, so that comment of stick up your arse is fine. We don't have to worry about Ofcom before 9 o'clock. It's alright.
No, nobody noticed until you mentioned it again.
No, they did. They did. Oh, they did. See the
Anyway,
switchboard like
no, it's really good. See, when you were saying you were Dolly, you were a head teacher. So I take it as a head teacher, you were really like to encourage music in the school and things like that, and drama and things.
Peter, I used to have a guitar sitting in the office, this old Fender acoustic guitar that Mike got me for my 21st birthday, right? And any time I was asked to take a class, I would go in and say to them, right, children, what do you want? Do you want to do maths or English, or do you want to do some singing? And they would go, singing! So the guitar came out and I really did all the different songs with them. So yeah, the guitar was great, it really was. Yeah, and I can't play piano or anything, but I used to take my guitar to assembly and do all the songs, hymns and everything with my guitar and do them at assembly. So yeah, and that's the thing the kids remember. They'll come up to me in the street and they'll go, Mrs. Marook, I remember you played your guitar at school.
I know.
Don't get that.
Do you know something? I teach in schools up here. I teach in lots of schools. And see if you get a head teacher that's right into music and arts and drama, etc.
Yeah.
It filters right down through the whole school. And it's wonderful, and it gets right down to the pupils and lets them have a chance. Whereas you...
I have to say, Peter, it's been proved that, see the children that are learning a musical instrument in schools, it's actually been proved that they do better in the academic subjects. Believe it, that is actually true. They've done research. Yes, it's true. Yeah. Children who are learning an instrument do better in the other subjects. So there you go. So we need to bring back music tuition in school. We need to bring back all the music teachers and get it on the go again. So that's my
We're reasonably lucky up in Shetland. We have quite a lot of instrumental instructors still in the schools teaching, so we're quite lucky. Not as lucky. It's not as big as it used to be, but it's still pretty sizable. But the new government that's come in, one of their pledges was that they're going to hopefully make all music free again for children in the schools, and I hope that does come to fruition, because I think it's just opens up the world for so many children that maybe aren't
Absolutely.
academically wanting to do the stuff. It's amazing what people can do, you know.
Yeah.
That's so hopefully that'll happen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I can't believe how we're getting through time here. It's amazing.
I know.
Unbelievable.
What it must be doing then. What's the last song, David?
Well, I could speak to you all night about this, but this last song, first time I heard the McAlmons singing it, as an accordion player, I nearly fell off the chair, to be honest. Because it's how probably I learned how to play along with bands and things, listening to records. And you say, hey, you can't say records to young people nowadays, do you? I don't know what that means. And in fact, CDs nearly about had it now. There is what CD? What download? Right.
And my favourite song was Prevention. Everybody had a record.
Aye. Yeah, different record. Yes. Excellent. But yeah, so that's it. So tell us, what is this wee song?
Is it Don't Sit on My Jimmy Shans, Davey? Is that the one?
Well,
we are huge Richard Thompson fans. He's probably one of the we've done most of his, I think, and we've done quite a lot of John Martin's and Joni Mitchell and stuff like that. But Richard Thompson was a big influence. But this wee song, Peter, I chose it especially for you because you're an accordion player.
Thank you.
I actually love accordion music. My best pal, I think I told you this, my best pal, Virginia Blue, is Jimmy Blue's daughter. Now, obviously, you know who Jimmy Blue was.
Yeah,
and
very much. Yeah.
Joan is still in the going. She still goes up to Shetland with
Lovely folk.
Kate, yeah. So I chose this song especially for you because I thought you would like it. It's called
Brilliant.
Don't Sit on My Jimmy Shans.
Yeah, and our next guest coming on tonight is Ian McPhail, and Ian is an accordion player as well. So this is one for all the box players out there. Yeah,
Ian,
excellent.
This is for you if you watch.
Without falling over. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. When the party hit full swing, I saw you come a-reeling in. You had that six-pack in a stranglehold. Now you stagger, now you sway. Why don't you fall the other way? I got something here worth more than gold. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. They don't mend with sticky tape and glue. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. That's my very best advice to you. Call me precious, I don't mind. 17/8s are hard to find. You just can't get the shellac since the war. This one's a Beltona brand, finest label in the land. They don't make them like that anymore. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. They don't mend the sticky tape and glue. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. That's my very best advice to you. Darling, though you're twice my size, I don't mean to patronize. Honey, let me take you by the hand. Find a lap or find a chair, you can park it anywhere. Just don't press your cheeks against my man. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. They don't mend with sticky tape and glue. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. That's my very best advice to you. No shindig is half complete without that famous polka beat. That's why they invite me, I suppose. Waltzes, stops, basics and reels. Now you know how good it feels. Crank that handle, baby, where she goes. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. They don't mend the sticky tape and glue. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. Don't sit on my Jimmy Shans. That's my very best advice to you. I forgot forgot what the wee polka was at the end. Right, never mind.
Was that? That's the wee polka
Yeah.
at the end.
Yes, that's it. I was supposed to be
Well done.
that.
Brilliant. It's
Brilliant.
a great wee
Brilliant.
jolly song. Jolly wee song.
Good one to
Magic.
finish. Good one to finish with, Peter. Good choice.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic having you guys on. Thank you so much for
having
coming on and
Yeah,
giving us your
thank
time
you.
tonight.
Thank
And
you very
go
much.
and
It was a pleasure.
Well, listen, all the comments coming in and the amount of views we're getting tonight, it's fantastic. And
Yeah.
you can tell
Yeah.
that there's a huge amount of people who have really appreciated what you've done in the past year.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
that's
Thank
lovely.
you all.
So,
Thank you for answering
thank you
it.
so
And we'll-
much.
I'm looking forward to Ian's bit. Looking forward
So am
to
I.
hearing Ian's
Yeah, we'll get Mr. McPhail on in a wee while. But thank you to the two of you. Stay safe. Take care, look after each other, and I really do hope to get to one of these sessions in the fish some night when I'm doing that.
Yeah, you should. You should.
That would be a bra thing to do, so that would be off again. So thank you very much, and you take care, okay? Thanks, guys.
That was
Brilliant.
bro.
Really nice. Aye, absolutely. I really like the idea that this show is the direction it's going in sometimes, that we're bringing on
Yeah.
big names, but we're also bringing on folks that maybe some folk haven't heard of so much, but there's this talent out there that folk are actually loving, which is really, really nice. And it can be young folk too.
Speaking of big names, here's an advert from the Kilt Centre.
Go for it.
Did you like that
There
segue? Did you like
go.
that? Did you like that?
Rob Matheson. I like that. I saw what you did there. Yeah, and that's pretty good. You're doing well tonight, considering you've just been heaped on at the end of the day. You've ended up backstaging and everything here. That was Robert Matheson, the Kilt Centre. He's got the big bounce back sale, and he's selling off all the ex-hire stuff. And some of it's like new, folks. It's like new. You're getting a kilt for £85. Absolutely perfect.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Even if it's just for the European finals, going away with the Tartan Army, you know.
Well, exactly. It's not for Eurovision. It's not for Eurovision anyway.
No, but we'll get a Eurovision entrance some year. You and I could do something. We could do something.
We could. But we need
what could we
vocals. Needs to be vocals.
We'll get somebody. And get some glittery tartan suits, and we're made. We're made.
Tartan suits.
Tartan suits,
dearie
aye. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like,
The,
listen, I'm really looking forward
see-
to bringing in. Oh, go on.
I was just going to mention yesterday, during the day. Was it yesterday? It's yesterday. There's a wee team playing a weird team in Glasgow yesterday. Remember that?
Oh yeah. Says
We're
you're
gonna
a
mention that,
Dundee United fan. That's it. That's that. Okay.
Still not being beaten by Brazil, by Barcelona. It's fine. Yes, no, it was that wee team from
that's
Perth,
not
St
bad.
Johnstone, beating that other wee team for Edinburgh. Hibernian.
Yeah. Hibernian. Yeah.
To be fair, Hibs have
there's
got
a lot of
folk.
folk. There's a lot of.
They've got a lot of folk that
There's a
are
lot of folk
quite,
from Perth listening. So.
yeah, a lot of folk from Edinburgh probably with a hangover, thinking they should have done better. Let's speak to the one now, actually.
And they've just switched off because you've annoyed them.
The numbers are dropping.
Hopefully the next guy will come on now. God, blind. Hello, bring him on. Is Ian McPhail there? Hello Ian.
Everybody. How you doing?
Hello, Ian. How you doing?
Thanks,
We're
Davie.
good. How are you getting on?
I'm doing fine, thanks. I'm doing fine. Just for Dave's benefit, fully recovered from yesterday. I've seen that movie many times before here in Leith. I just wanted to say I'm wearing my blue and white top for St Johnstone today to say well done to them, because that's, by the way, a sensation winning both cups in the same season. So that'll live long in the memory in Perth. So well, they deserved it. Aye.
Yeah.
No, good stuff. But anyway, thanks very much.
So how are you get? What was that? Sorry.
I was going to say thanks very much for the hospital pass, trying to follow Dolly and Mike. They were sensational. It's like, I'm not really wanting to go on here.
Oh, listen, they're brilliant folk. They're actually, this is coming saying hello to you already. Listen, they're brilliant folk. Really nice that they've done that off their backs. I think we've found with a lot of musicians, haven't we? They've pulled the stops out over all these lockdowns and tried to keep contact with the audience, etc.
A lot of folk think it's the stuff that these musicians are doing is for everyone else, but a lot of it's for themselves as well. And they're putting it out there. They're doing it for themselves. They're keeping themselves busy and keeping their minds active, and then kind of sharing it with the world, just like Dolly and Mike have done with their 385 videos. That's
sensational, isn't it? Oh, I mean, unbelievable. And you're quite right, Dave, as well. I mean, there's a couple of folk that we play with that. There's one guy that I think you know quite well yourself, Ali Lavac, who just as COVID came in, he'd just been crowned the BBC Young Trad Musician of the Year. And my son, who's just turned 12, he was teasing Ali, saying, Ali, the way this is going, you're going to be in your mid-30s, still somehow the radio BBC Young Trad. Because we can't put it on again. And Ali took it quite well. Although I'm thinking of a pension of the current rating, still BBC Young Boy of the Year.
Oh, dear me. Yeah.
But listen, I think we'll have a wee bit of music for Ian and the band. This is Whiskey Kiss. We're starting off with. Tell us, what's this first one we're having?
So this is the debut single of Whiskey Kiss, which I think was
this is the new single to start with.
No, this is the debut single. The debut single.
Sorry.
How many countries was it number one, Ian?
It was a couple. It was Luxembourg and Uruguay, places we'd never set foot in. So thank you very much to the Luxembourgeois and the Uruguayans.
Do you know something, Ian? We'll speak about it later, but I was actually in Uruguay with your father. With the band when we went over there. So
what you're saying is
maybe they thought it was him.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They thought wrong Ian McPhail.
I know. I see he shaved the giant moustache off.
Here we go with Jock's Revenge.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Ian, it's fantastic. It's an incredible lot of work to get a production as professional as that going on. I think it's one of the things I really appreciate about you. You don't do it in half measures. And I think that's fantastic. I think that's fantastic though, because some people sit back in their morals a wee bit and just think people should like us, but we have to try as well and put out professional stuff, and that you do that. So that's fantastic.
Well, thanks. I mean, we were lucky with that one, Peter, in that we spoke to. There was a guy. We do. I mean, we're a Cayley band. That's what we started out with. That's if anyone says, "What do you do?" We're a Cayley band, and we were doing a lot of weddings around that time, and there was a guy, Steve Towell, who does Cherry Tree Productions, who was winning, I think, 10 years on the bounce. He won the best Scottish wedding videographer. And we were saying, Steve, do you ever fancy doing something else? Because you're too good at this almost to do that. And he started, I'd love to do a music video, but you couldn't afford me. We're like, aye, you're right. But he said, look, if we just film stuff over the course of a full calendar year when you guys are on and I happen to be on, if you're not in any rush, we'll do a magic job of it. And we were saying, well, that's what we want to do. We don't want to rush it or throw anything out. We just want to do something really good that will hopefully stand the test of time. And Steve was so good, like brilliant. And fair play, I have to say, to all the musicians and dancers and break dancers as well, because they were happy to brave all sorts of weather and cold and waterfalls and shifting practices and all sorts. But it was good. Yeah. But no, I mean, Steve on the video was magic.
We'll speak about that as we go along. But the thing I really like about that sound there is it doesn't sound like, oh, let's just chuck together a dance, like dance as in modern dance music and some traditional music. It's really crafted together and it's glued together. It's not just like, let's play a set of pipes or something like that and then rattle something behind it and it'll be okay. You've really thought that out. It works, and you could hear that anywhere in the world and folk would go, wow, that's amazing.
Cheers. Fantastic. I mean, it was a good year in the making.
But tell us, going back a wee bit, your household as a youngster, you were brought up, your dad was Ian McPhail as well. So there would always been music going in the house, was there?
All the time, yeah, and it's been the biggest influence that you could possibly have. And actually, going back to just what you were saying about crafting together, something that really works is hopefully a piece of traditional music as well as bringing it a wee bit modern. The key thing for me was it had to be something that wouldn't that had to have a bit of integrity with the traditional side as well, in terms of I've grown up in a household where there was music every single day, folk dropping in at all times of night for a tune and so on. And it's a case of, if I do something here that isn't true to its roots, then I'm as well packing it in, because my dad would never talk to me again, probably. And he'd be quite right, as it were. But no, so it was really important to us to get that side right.
Yeah, but also, when it came to innovation, your father, with a Scottish dance band, was one of the most innovative players, composers, and arrangers that I ever heard in my lifetime. And that's obviously passed on to yourself. And you're looking at that, and even though it's a slightly different genre, hey, it's working, and it's good. It's very, very good.
Cheers. I mean, growing up, it was always, I would hear words that you wouldn't normally hear growing up in a household in Edinburgh, where the talk on you putting in a diminished chord. I don't understand that. It was very much, again, quite a lot of, I kind of guess, jazz influences in terms of chord arrangements and so on. And if I'm honest, growing up through sort of latter school days and uni days, it was a case of, I loved the music, I wanted to do something, but I didn't want to be a direct comparison. I didn't want to be sort of, oh, there's McPhail Senior and McPhail Junior, as it were. So it was a case of, I'd really like to do something a wee bit different. And so I made a point of pipes and fiddle leading rather than accordion, but I've always quite enjoyed being part of the arrangement.
And the other thing being, Father played a piano accordion and you played the button box.
Aye, that's true. Do you know, it works very well as a second box, the button box, from a laziness point of view, if nothing else, because the fingering shape is the same, whatever chords that you're playing, basically. So if you need to try it just means you move two to the right. It's like your whole musical scope is like being a knight, and it's just like got one across. There you go, boom, C minor. But,
nobody told me that, of course. Nobody ever told me that. But there we go. Too late.
Also, they're a tiny wee bit smaller. I was just going to say, if you're travelling on like a plane, especially, or whatever, and you've got the big Guarini and you've got stuff in there and it's 19 kilos and you're trying to pass it off as hand luggage, my face was bright red and you're going, oh, can I get on? It's honestly 5 kilos. Can I get on? You're dreading
But was there a reason that you ended up playing the 5-row box? Was there a reason that happened? Or?
In a way, yes. And it goes back to the teacher. Like my dad, when he'd been growing up in Kilberry, in Argyll, way down the Malacantire and Napdale, he'd been largely self-taught till he moved to Edinburgh about 15 or 16 years old. And there's a fantastic teacher called Chrissy Letham who he went to, and Chrissy refined what was clearly already there and got my dad really started and made a big impression on him. And Chrissy was still around at the time when I was learning, but she was then succeeded by a chap, Owen Murray, who's a sensation. And he was a 5-row player. And so Owen was saying, actually, I think you should try this. So it was kind of through the almost the teacher lineage, as it were. But no, I was happy to. I kind of that's my mentality. That's what I'm used to.
Fair enough.
And of course, Owen became a professor of accordion in his own right. And what did you study at university? You said about university. Did you play at the same time as you were at university, or?
I ended up had the good fortune to go to Edinburgh, and I studied politics and Scottish history, and so I was in the School of Scottish Studies quite a lot and all that, but I wasn't in music. Okay. But there was an awful lot of musicians doing that course, and so you ended up, actually, I think Gary West might have been involved at that stage on the tutor side, and we had a kind of precursor almost of Whiskey Kiss grew up at that time called the Porridge Men, which is probably a terrible name, but we had a wee CD called Planet Porridge, and that was Donald McLeod on pipes. Who'd been at school with us, a really good pal, and Donald was the pipe sergeant for the Boghall and Bathgate Caledonia pipe band, sort of great fun, world class top 5 standard, and so it was good. Top on the pipes.
I remember when I had the music shop in Lerwick and Shetland selling the Porridge Men CDs. So there you go. I was going to ask you about that. The Porridge
definition
Man.
of a hard shift.
So the Porridge Men kind of developed into Whiskey Kiss, but as you said, and quite often do, we're a Ceilidh band. That's what we started doing. We started doing Ceilidhs, and then it developed. I think this next wee track we've got is a Gay Gordons, I think, or something, and it's more like you as a Ceilidh band really playing. And
the wee short one.
Yeah.
So we'll have a wee listen to the short one, and then we can maybe talk about how it developed after that.
Aye. For this track, Ian, was this not used for Visit Scotland's advert as well?
That's right, yeah. We were invited to do a wee bit of filming for them, and it all had to be done live.
I heard you the day we lost you. Oh, you did.
Aye, so it was good though, because like filming live, as you know, has its challenges and its perils and all the rest of it, and so yeah. But what it does, it gives you an authentic sound, and so yeah, this was what we did with them.
Here we go. Let's look at this.
Right. So we listen to that.
First dance, the Gay Gordons.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet, but it's good to give the idea to the folks that really what you did do and how it's developed. And Whiskey Kiss, I mean, you've had reasonably stable lineup over the years, haven't you? Now.
A wee bit, yeah. I mean, we've had a few changes over time, and one of the things that we really like doing is we've got like a couple of us who are kind of almost the old stagers who try and keep things steady at the back, but then actually we've had like at the moment we've got say a squad of 3 different guys who play pipes and whistles with us. Every single one of them's a sensational player, a top boy and so on, and you've got Ali Levac, a guy David Shedden and Kieran Ross, and they interchange. You kind of need that as well because they're so talented and so busy in their own right that you kind of need 3, but just folk that can interchange. And I don't know, would you mind if I told you a wee story about Kieran's debut for us? Because
not at all.
Because I had to phone Kieran up. It was a January and it was really short notice, but it's like, Kieran, we've got a gig and it's an amazing gig and it's going to be your debut. Can you do it? I would need you for 3 days. So I was like, aye, that sounds great. And we needed him because we were due to play the Beijing Scots Burns Supper, and it was going to include a wee trip up the Great Wall of China, play a Burns tune. And we thought, this is magic. So I'm telling Kieran, he's like, I can't believe it. But it was because we needed him because both Ali and Dave were in the final of the BBC Young Trad Musician of the Year. It's like, you thought, I wonder if I make it. But to have both of them, it's like, oh, I was the one guy in the planet who missed it tonight. And we were busy trying to wind Ali and Dave up, saying, "Oh, you'll be gutted if the other boy wins it." Eh? But they were totally not like that. If you know them, obviously I'll be the happiest guy. But anyway, phoning Kieran saying, "Can you make it?" Aye. And he's like, "What's Beijing like this time of year?" And I was like, "I don't know. It's probably not tropical, but it'll be the same as Scotland." And so he's turned up with the t-shirt and the wee denim jacket. And we land at Beijing Airport, and all you hear is ding bong, welcome to Beijing, where it's currently minus 16 degrees, but there's a wind chill of 20. Put that in. But we were actually due straight up to the place, because it's such a big city and all that. They told us specifically when you land, it'd be like 9 in the morning, but you need to go straight to the Great Wall, because otherwise you'd be caught in traffic, all the rest. So Kieran's shivering so badly, and he saw himself a wee, and this was quite bright of him. We thought, he was like, lads, I've just seen a gift shop, I'm going to layer up with t-shirts. But if you're in New York, you get an I Heart NY t-shirt. If you're in Beijing, he's come out with 3 t-shirts saying I Heart BJ. And we're like, go on, hell. And the guy was totally passed him by, and he's looking at us like we've got 3 heads. He's going, what's so funny, lads? We're like, if you wear that down the park bar, you're getting more than $1 worth out of your t-shirt.
Oh dear.
Oh no. But it was great fun.
But it was an awesome gig. What a great gig to get, though. Brilliant gig to get going and doing
seriously.
that.
And that's the thing, it's like, you kind of feel a wee bit with these sorts of stories, it's like we're honestly pinching ourselves, where it's like, I can't believe someone's phoned up and said, can you play a Burns tune on the Great Wall of China? It's like, are you actually kidding me? Of course we'll do that. And so, so it was great, and that was Kieran's debut, so his first note, he was really concerned that he would be out of tune because it was minus 20, and we're like, I think we'll give you a free pass on that one, eh? But, one of the other ones we did with him was we got the call to do New York Tartan Week last year, and that's a sensation. I would recommend that to anyone. But the dance troupe that we were doing it with, they do the pre-match entertainment at Scotland Rugby at Murrayfield, doing the kind of the human pyramid thing, and it's all girls and they're amazing, and they were saying, great if we had a piper at the top of the pyramid, and we were saying, that would be great, Kieran, wouldn't it? And the notion of it sounded really nice to, for probably many reasons, but when it actually came to it, he didn't do it. I mean, he's quite high up, and he was absolutely brilliant. But we were saying, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. But before he could even react, you could see that he was having second thoughts. But the girls were just like, "Come here, young Jedi!" And before he knew it, he was 10 foot up in the sky. He made it for the front cover of the New York Post. But all good.
Manhandled. What a dreadful situation to end up in, manhandled by all these young girl dancers. It must have been dreadful.
The funny thing with Kieran, he's such a nice lad. He's like, just don't tell my girlfriend. We're like, you're on the front covers of the New York Post. What do you mean? Don't tell my girlfriend. You're not.
Too late for that, Kieran. Too late for that.
A wee bit.
Fantastic. Fantastic. But tell me, yeah, go on, Davie.
Ian, you've travelled all over for gigs all over the world. Where's your favourite place to have played?
That's a great question, and I've probably got 3 that I'll have to say, if not gold, silver, bronze, they're all flat level. But I mean, the New York Tartan Week one, I can't speak highly enough of it. And when it comes back next year, the folk who run it, it's actually a really, really small number of people that put it together for a thing that shuts down the best part of Midtown Manhattan for an hour or two. And they're so passionate about, especially about pipe music and about Highland dancing and so on. So I'd recommend that to anyone. But the other 2 would be, for about 11 years on the bounce, we've been really lucky to do the Shanghai Caledonia, the St Andrews Ball for the British Chamber of Commerce out there. And it's what a place. Like, we just adore it. And we were just never tired of doing that one. And Dave Shedden on pipes is a wee bit of a legend out there. It's one of those where he's kind of on a pedestal, and it's the one place you go with Dave, and it's almost like they've got cardboard cutouts of him. They love him. But the other one, though, I'd have to say this is it means such a lot. There's a few places in Scotland where we're saying maybe a recommended act to do sort of weddings or corporates or that sort of thing, but one of them's a place called Creer near Kilberry on the west coast, on the Mull of Kintyre, and it's a sensational place. It's an old Button Ben, really about a mile from where my grandmother was, and it was on a peninsula that was absolutely like withering on the vine. It was kind of dying about maybe 10, 15 years ago. And what the folk who took over the Button Ben did was they thought, you're literally 4 hours from anywhere, 3 hours from anywhere there, so it's got to be worth the journey. So they did it up, put a whole glass wall on with a view over to Isla Anjura that you just can't even imagine. Wow. And they turned it into a wedding venue that you can just hire for a week at a time in the absolute wilds, and it's just gorgeous. It's actually, this isn't me trying to tee it up, by the way, but it features as one of the views on the final video that will be putting on. But yeah, Creer's sensational. But that's the thing. It's the thing that we get out of the Cayleys is you're keeping a tradition alive, but you're also giving a lot of fun to people, and you're getting to see places and have experiences that you otherwise never would have thought. And if I can share one last wee story about Up by Creer, it was Dave Shedden's debut for us, and at the time David would have been, I don't know, maybe 19, and he was like the most polite guy you've ever met, and his father's a sensational piper, and I'd heard a lot of good things about Dave. And he turned up, we were actually doing a Cayley for a woman who was the editor of the Times newspaper at the time, and she had a sort of love of Kintyre. And Dave turned up at the wrong house for the first sort of half hour. He's wandering around someone else's party in his finery, saying, I'm the piper. Didn't realise we were getting a piper. So, but still, because he was so early, he still had 5 minutes to spare when someone said, "You're not meant to be here, pal, you're in the wrong house." So he found the right place. And he's met with the editor of the Times at the door, and she's like, "Oh, you must be the piper." Well, the rest of the band have just arrived, come out the back. And Dave had only heard that we were in Kilberry, which is a tiny village, and it was the editor of the Times, and he thought it was the editor of the Kilberry Times. So he's got like part of the Murdoch empire saying, "Come away in." And he's like, "Do you know, I just want to tell you, I think it's brilliant what you guys do. You're really giving something back to the people. And you get a lot of feedback." She's looking at him going, "Well, not everyone's like this time."
Oh, wow.
I must tell you something. When you mentioned him being at the wrong place, there was one night I played piano with your father at a wedding in Glasgow, and we set up the whole thing in the hotel, and there's somebody came over and said, "Who are you guys?" And we said, "We're the band for the wedding." And they said, "No, we're having a disco tonight." To which your dad phoned back your mum, who looked up the diary and said, "What hotel is it?" And it was we were in the wrong hotel. So we had to strip down the stuff really, really quickly and get over to another place, and we still started on time. No bother to us. That was quite funny. But a couple of things there, when you mentioned your grandmother there, of course your grandmother was Miss Mary Printy. Is that who your dad wrote the tune for?
I think that was my dad's grandmother, so it was my grand's mum, if you know what I mean.
Okay. And, right, because it's of course one of the most famous Scottish dance band tunes going. It's just
yeah, absolutely. And I mean the family things. It's super important to us all, and I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Now, along the bottom of the screen, folks, you'll notice the Whiskey Kiss website there. Is that the best place to go on and get albums and singles and things, Ian? For people to buy stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you sell on iTunes and things as well? Or?
Yeah, and everything's on Spotify and all the rest of it too, but we don't really talk about them. It's I shouldn't have mentioned them, but yeah, iTunes and Amazon and all of that sort of business. And I mean, there's one thing just before I forget, because it's the sort of thing I would forget. Actually, I think the first time we're going to have my band and my dad's band on the same bill later this year, and we've never been actually on the same bill before. I'm really excited about that, but it's part of a really great sounding festival called Cayley Fest Glasgow. So we'll be at the Barrowlands on the 4th of November, which I went for a wee recce there when you were just allowed to after lockdown lifted, because I've been told that actually the dance floor there, it's a ballroom, the Barrowlands, and the dance floor it's almost like being Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. You're so sprung, it's amazing. So I think that'll be a sensational place for Daly. And so it's ourselves, my dad's band.
Should be bouncing. Should be bouncing.
Guest with Iona Fife, and actually I think the headline act to be Project Smock, who are absolutely magic. So that should be a good night. But yeah, so that was the one thing I was asked to mention, and I almost forgot.
No, brilliant. Listen, could you nearer the time as well when the advert comes out for that? If you'll send it over to us, and we'll also mention it again, and we'll stick it onto our website and all that kind of stuff, and onto the Facebook and all that. Anything you want, whenever you're bringing out new albums, anything, please. That's what we're here for, to help folk promote their stuff. I think we'll have a wee quick listen to this new single. This is the new single, isn't it?
It's
actually,
one of the new
singles. Also another
yeah, it's one of the. Sorry.
All right.
Oh no, fire away, David.
Yeah, so this is Open Your Mind, which is their last one. The new one we're about to discuss, but this is one beforehand. So what's this one? Tell us about this, Ian.
This was the one where we had. I got a call out of the blue from a guy I'd been at school with who had been in the army for about 10, 15 years, and he said, "I'm out of the army, back home, and I'm starting up a drone company. Could you use my services?" And we're like, "I'm sure we could, Liam." And so we thought we would get the drone going out to visit a lot of our dancers and break dancers and all that in their kind of home town or village, and just put together something that way. And so you've got this guy who's just back from Iraq and Afghanistan. The first thing that we sent him on was a mission to find Leanne, one of our dancers, near the Forth Bridge, and she'll have 2 swords with her because she's doing a sword stance. And he phoned me later and he said, "It's the scariest moment of his whole life." like put me back in Iraq and Afghanistan rather than a fifer with 2 large chibs any day.
Oh, brilliant.
But I hope you like the video anyway.
Here we go. Here we go.
My dream? Why, I'm an old-fashioned gal captain. My dream would be to go to a K-Lake. There'd be music, we'd be dancing the gay gardens, you and I, in an old stone cottage with whitewashed walls, a ruby red roof and views to the rugged islands and the ocean. That's my dream, Captain.
I know the perfect place. You're gonna love this band.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
Well
That was brilliant.
very, very, very well done. Davey, another thing I never told you about Ian actually was that Ian's actually a very good footballer himself. And I remember many years ago a five-a-side football match getting organised between the Musos, and the two Ian McPhails were in the same team and absolutely hammered us, absolutely annihilated us.
I'm not surprised.
After they walked out to get the ball round me, they had to work out that. Once they'd worked out to treat me as a roundabout, that was okay then. It was fine. But no, it was great. I remember Ian's dad was also very good to me and gave me he got me tickets a couple of times when I was not well at one point to go to Easter Road, and I went with him to see Aberdeen playing one day. I remember that, and then I remember he got me a ticket for the derby, and I had to go and sit and watch Hearts Hibs and the Hibs end, which is quite something for a Hearts supporter, believe me. And it's very difficult. I don't know if you've ever done that, but it's quite difficult when you're sitting there going, somebody next to you going, and you go, I know they're terrible, aren't they? Never mind.
Oh, man.
That's great.
I've only done it once. I couldn't do it again. I've only done it the once. I went in the Hibs end, the Hearts end at Tynecastle for a derby, and you're sitting, you just can't do it.
No, it's hard, very difficult. But great fun. But I remember that well, the five-a-side football getting humped. So
I thought you were going to say that me and my dad had a fallout, because it's a kind of family thing, I think, in the meals. I get it now from my son who's 12, if I'm saying he's playing this morning for Leeds Athletic, and it's like, Jamie, you should have been 5 yards tucked further in. He's like, what do you know? If it's not right, Peter, I might play this back and say, Peter told you I used to be quite decent at the football.
That's it. I'll stick up for you, and I'll stick up for you. But listen, what's the plans for the future? What have you got coming up before we have to lose you tonight?
Thank you so much for having me on. And the two main things. We've got the Cayley Fest Glasgow thing coming up in November, and fingers crossed that everything's back to normal by then, in terms of just like the kind of events being open and so on. But the other thing, we do have a single out at the moment, and it's been a wee bit different, which is why I didn't fire it through tonight. But it's a song rather than an instrumental, as it were.
Okay.
And it's actually looking at political things that are around as well. So again, we didn't want to necessarily split the room too much, but I have to say, with an enormous amount of fun doing it, because it was literally the first day after lockdown. I'd had an idea for about 2 years or so. I'd had an idea to recreate Letter from America, the Proclaimers song, but kind of for the modern day. And we actually had the good fortune, I'll call it the good fortune, you feel free to take a different Heart of Midlothian point of view here, Peter, but we had the good fortune to play alongside at the Paul Hanlon testimonial, and it was a great night. And I took the opportunity to have a chat with Craig and Charlie and said, we've got this idea, we'd really like to call it Letter to Europa and have a female singer and actually look forward rather than back and switch it up quite a lot, but really root it in your song, because it was their iconic in the first number one. It's like we wouldn't touch it unless they were okay with it, and their manager Kenny got back to us and said, actually, I've spoken to the boys and they're quite happy. So we got Iona Fife to work with us on it. Her voice was just a joy, a sensation, and it was Iona's suggestion that why don't we bring in Michael Biggins as well, the current BBC Young Caddy Edition Hero piano, and oh boy, what a great guy, what an amazing player. And we had Ali Levac as well, so with the current and previous Young Trad winners, Pablo Lafuente, and it was just a joy to put together. But it was one of those where, even if it had been something that we weren't passionate about and but even if it had been just the fact that we're back in the studio with folk who, it's just effortless, the music, the arrangement, the playing, it was a real joy to all be back together, and I think everything just got loads out of it. There's a single out just now, but more, we just had a great time doing it. It was the main thing.
So where's the best place for the people to look for the single?
Well, I think there's a link from our website as well, so you'll catch it there.
Brilliant,
I think it's done quite well in Luxembourg, so I really should thank the bourgeois. The bigger supporters than anyone.
A couple of things that we've had Iona on the show before, and as you say, she's an amazing voice and great lass. She was great to speak to, fantastic, and so passionate about Scots language, etc., and all that things. And it was really good, and really enjoyed having her on. And the other thing is, I quite like the Proclaimers actually, and I've even been to their concert in Lerwick, so don't worry. And I joined in with all the same songs that you love. Music's music.
Aye, their bands are tight as fun, by the way. Well, we had the good fortune to have the access to all areas. We took the chance to stand side on. It's like you could tell that they've been playing together for years and years, and just magic. So yeah, I would love to see them again. That's the best I could say.
Really know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's before we go.
There you go, ladies and go on,
Peter,
David, go on.
Do you want to play it? Do you want to play the video?
What?
Do you want to play the Letter to Europa?
Well,
do you want to go for it?
If Ian wants you to.
It's loaded. Yeah, let's play the new single.
Oh, thanks.
Here we go.
Well, go for it. Go for gold.
Now they've gone, we should send back a letter to Europa. Leave a light on for Scotland, so she can find her way home. In 70 years of peace and land, I take my tapas on the Ramblers, smashing Paris and Milan. A free European till they take it away. It's time to put the thistle back in the world's bouquet. Now they've gone, we should send back a letter to Europa. Leave a light on for Scotland, so she can find her way home. Paris no more, Florence no more, our freedoms, our peace, gone carnivored. Paris no more, Florence no more, enlightenment's home keeps the old flame aglow. Our future's Buddha, oh hellish to see everyone can recognize a friendless island in retreat. We're patient neighbor, but we're going our own way. It's time to put the thistle back in the world's bouquet. Now they've gone, we should send back a letter to Europa. Leave a light on for Scotland, so she can find her way home. Now they've gone, we should send back a letter to Europa. Leave a light on for Scotland, so she can find her way home. Now they've gone, we should send back a letter to Europa. Leave a light on for Scotland, so she can find her way home. Paris no more, we're taking our shot. We just want to be normal and this island's not. Paris no more, we're taking our shot. We just want to be normal and this island's not. Want Paris encore, freedom's encore. Well, freedom's encore, means this place no more.
There we go.
Yeah,
Thanks for playing it.
Fantastic. Oh, no bother. Surprised me with that one as well. Right, folks, there you go. Cracking. Absolutely brilliant. Jump on to whiskeykiss.com and you'll get a link that'll point you in the right direction. And I can see everybody's going, brilliant, 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 fantastic, fantastic. Ian would think it was brilliant, 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 fantastic if you went and bought it as well. That would be fantastic.
Pay for his Wi-Fi.
That'd be really good.
No, thank you so much for having us on as well.
That's fine. Fine.
Davie was on the ball. Davie was on the ball there with that one loaded up before I knew even a thing about it. So
absolutely.
I was hoping my Wi-Fi wouldn't kick out at the same time. Like, come on, hurry up!
Anyway, listen, Ian, thank you so much for coming on, giving us your time tonight. Folks, please check out Whiskey Kiss. It's well worth seeing. Check out the venue in Kilberry. What did you call that venue? It looks amazing.
Oh, Creer. Yeah, amazing. Crear.
It does look amazing.
So good.
And watch out for the Cayley Fest, because to see the two Ian McPhails on the same bill together will be fantastic. Well, worth investing in a ticket for a season ticket. I was going to say a season ticket for that one. You know what I meant.
Yeah.
But anyway, listen, thanks, Ian. Can you pass on our regards to all the family, your youngsters, yourself, and Mum and Dad when you see them for us? It'd be great if you could pass that on for us.
I will
thank
do.
you very much. And you take care of yourself, okay? And we'll see you again sometime.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Ian.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye now. Bye. Ah, man, that's been a fantastic show tonight again. Well done there, Davie Hunter. How did you manage to find that video and get it loaded up for the end of the show? That was quite amazing.
I've seen it before. I knew what I was looking for.
You're not just a pretty face, eh?
Well.
See, Dick Hamilton comes on here. Dick just amazes me. He went to school with the Proclaimers.
Yep.
He's been on all the quiz shows. Dick's he's some guy. And did you notice tonight he said when Ian McPhail mentioned the guy that done the DVD for them, the filming, that done the weddings, Dick put on, he done my daughter's wedding as well and made a great
son's wedding, yeah.
He's some guy. He's been all over the place. So.
What's also really good is that Dick Hamilton's son has just taken over the Deer Centre in Cooper as well. So that's they look at that's now.
Oh yes, that's right.
Business, yes, yeah. So that'll be cracking for the area because
maybe do it.
Go for it.
We could maybe do a Tartan Tunes special for the Deer Centre.
Oh, it'd be great. See the Highland cows.
Wouldn't it?
Well,
Two deer.
Half a deer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
like Highland
delicious.
coos. Did I ever tell you somebody called a Highland coo in Northern Ireland after me?
They did, of all places. Of all places.
Yeah. Anyway,
yes,
we've got a bit of delay anyway, but well done. We've battled through it. We've battled through it with the delay. Thank you very much, folks, for tonight. Please share it about if you've enjoyed the show. Let your friends know about us. We'll see you on Wednesday night again at 8:30 for the Tartan Tunes. And we've got a What's New Wednesday as well.
We do. That's going to be a great one. That might be an extended show actually on Wednesday rather than a usual half hour. Maybe slightly longer. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So,
and we'll tell you the guests we've got for next weekend because we've got another couple of cracking guests. Right, thanks again, Davie. Well done, good show.
No hassle. I will see you again.
See how Karen's doing now. She'll be vexed. She's missed it. She'll be vexed. She's missed this. So,
I know. She can have her job back. I don't even want this job.
That's it. Well done. Right,
I'll see you later, Peter.
Davie says she can have your job back. Come and wave. Hold on, how she's coming to wave?
No, I'm not going to.
You could wave. Come on, wave. No, she says no.
She's no waving.
Right.
I'll see you later.
Okay, right. It's been a...